Hello, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Mic. I'm Gary Laubach, along with Mike Joseph. Mike will have an Inside the Huddle for you again this week. So when you click off of here, click on to Inside the Huddle for sure. Before we get to Holy Cross, a team that comes in 2-6, 0-2 in the Patriot League, let's take a reflection back, because I'm sure there's always people ready to jump off the bridge. And I think what you have to do this year is look at our schedule. We have lost 4 games to 4 teams that are in the top 25. I'm not sure we've ever played a schedule where we hit 4 teams in the top 25. And they have a combined record of 21-5. Fordham's number 12, William & Mary 18, Harvard 21, and Sacred Heart is 24. No reason to be all that disgruntled about 4 losses, I don't think.
No, you would have liked to have gotten one of those games, maybe even the Sacred Heart game, and you were ahead in the William & Mary game. So I think it shows that Lafayette can play with those teams, and I think that helps them, and it's going to help them, like Frank said, down the road. But it also takes its toll on you, and it takes its toll physically. And then you throw in a Wagner game in there where they were as physical as anybody we played. It's a tough schedule. It really has been. But the Leopards don't shy away from anybody. They like to play good, hard-nosed football, and their offensive line has been tested all season. Their defense has been tested. So now, it's going to be a time to step up, and you can't even let down with a team like Holy Cross. Right. I mean, Holy Cross is going to come in here, and they've lost. They've had 5 games where it's been decided by 3 points or less. It's going to be a dogfight all the way to the end of the season.
And Frank made mention of this in his press conference, that it's very rare anymore for a Patriot League team to go through the league undefeated. And, of course, Holy Cross certainly is a team that has struggled at 0-2, and Fordham looks like a team that could really beat anybody. They're so talented. But, again, they have to come week in, week out, too, and you can't let down. You've got to win the rest and hope for the best, I guess. And Holy Cross probably feeling the same way right now. Having lost 5 in a row, they're just chomping at the bit to win a game.
No, I think they are. You look at a kid like Peter Puyos, who's been just fantastic, and he's followed up a great freshman year with a very good sophomore year. He's the leading rusher they have. They're great on third downs, one thing I noticed. The only problem is on defense, they give up a lot of third downs as well. So you can see the dilemma that Coach Gilmore has. It's an up and a down, very similar to Lafayette. And, Lafayette, like I said, they could have 2 more wins. And, of course, Holy Cross could easily have 4 or 5 wins on their schedule.
Mike, we have struggled this year in our losses with quarterbacks who can run the ball pretty well. This kid, as you mentioned, leading rusher on the team, rushes the ball 34 more times than anybody else on the team. And it is a bit of a ride and decide offense. How difficult is that for the secondary people and the linebackers to adjust themselves to?
Well, it's extremely difficult. The thing that bodes well for Lafayette is the fact that they love athletes. And Coach Link has showed that he could put 4, 5, 6, and even 7 defensive backs on the field at one time. Their linebackers are very athletic, and maybe they even get Kirkpatrick that back this week, which would really be good, because Brandon Bryant's been fantastic, but playing a freshman every single game, week in and week out, is tough. Jared Roberts is finally healthy. So Lafayette, I think, is geared defensively to handle the quarterback. Like I believe in years past, they've struggled to handle that running quarterback. But this is a kid, I think, we always talk about Colgate being the ride and decide or the read option team. But this team, I think, does it better than any team has done it up to this point for Lafayette, and they throw the ball extremely well as often as well.
And one final point, we've been together now for all of the football games, and I get a sense if our offense ever becomes consistent in their ability to move the ball up the field, that the other 2 areas have played pretty darn well, that we could end up by the end of the season being a pretty good football team.
I think so. We just have to, like you said, consistency. And Lafayette has only 3 times the entire year backed up a touchdown with another touchdown or with a field goal. So in having back-to-back scores on consecutive drives, Lafayette has only 6 70-yard drives or more during the entire year. So their consistency offensively has, I think, been because of the obviously not having Drew in there. But I think Sirfas has done a nice job. And then the inconsistency up front offensive line-wise, and now losing Charlanzio is going to be big. But, Lafayette always seems to step up at the right time of year, and I think they're going to have to run the football. One guy you don't have to worry about showing up, and that's Ross Sherman.
Well, one thing that's consistent is we always show up. We'll be back with Behind the Mic next week to get you ready. But right now, we're looking to take on Holy Cross and win that football game. 3:30 at Fisher Stadium. You can watch it on the Lafayette Sports Network if you can't make the ball game. For Mike, I'm Gary. We'll see you next week.